My name is Noah Passavoy. I'm a producer and engineer working with Maroon 5. We're here at Conway Studios in Studio C.
My name is Jesse, and I play the guitar. I also play keyboards.
My name's Sam. I kind of play a bit of everything, but mostly percussion and samples.
I've always worked on Pro Tools. With Maroon 5, I think I started on Pro Tools 6 with them. We're on Pro Tools 12 now.
Pro Tools is my favorite DAW for editing in terms of fine-tune editing, vocals especially, and just in general the sound of it. The way I've heard it described, and I agree, is that it's like right in your face, present. There's no like aliasing or weird artifacts. It sounds great.
It just works the way I want it to work. At the end of the day, Pro Tools is the most efficient system for me personally to be able to record and make music. It makes sense the way it handles audio, the way like the sort of structure of its actual like layout and everything is just right. It allows me to be creative however I want to be. It doesn't do things for me, which some people might complain about, but I see as a positive because it allows me to sort of make it what I need it to be at any given time.
It strikes me as the most audio-friendly of all the DAWs. I'd say Pro Tools is definitely what you use if you're trying to track a band or drums or vocals. I just feel like it's designed to play with audio.
When I bounce files out, they sound the same in Pro Tools. When I bounce files out in other DAWs, sometimes it sounds different after the bounce, even though there's nothing on the master. And it sort of leaves me wondering as to what's going on behind the scenes. When I'm prepping a session for mix, I know that when I send it off to whomever's mixing it, they're gonna open it and it's gonna sound exactly the same as when it left me. And there's not going to be any questions of sort of, well, what were they thinking of here? What was the intention on this track? You know, how did they get this reverb? It's all right there. He or she is able to start from there and finish the song. Whereas when you're sending stems, because you've got to go from one format to another or one DAW to another, it becomes a lot of a guessing game where you're just like listening to the rough, listening to the stems, and they're not matching up. Because of the universality of it, of Pro Tools, it's nice to be able to send a session and know that it's just going to sound the same wherever it goes.
Just love how easy Pro Tools makes things like using outboard gear in terms of offsetting the latency. I can have hardware inserts for gear.
It's small and silly, but one of the big features that I find that is really useful in Pro Tools is clip gain. When that came out, that was a huge, huge benefit to me. You can automate without having to automate. It really gives you a quicker way of doing volume rides without having to go in and do that, so you can kind of do it on the fly. It's just very useful. And for de-essing, it's fantastic. Going in and just pulling those S's down.
To me, the big things that I haven't seen anywhere else that I tend to use a lot are like playlists, I think is quite superior in Pro Tools. Beat Detective, but using it in weird ways. The nature of the audio suite is very specific to Pro Tools, where a lot of the DAWs require you to have the plugin in the track, or you have to freeze it or whatever. I like the fact that you can just select something and mess with it straight away and make it permanent. I'm a big fan of committing.
Show me your wedding ring.
Yeah. So.
The odds that a song I'm working on is going to stay solely in this room and not have seen 20 other computers by the time it's done is 0. So when I'm sending stuff, a lot of the times I may have plugins that other people don't have. I may be using outboard gear. I may be doing any number of things, and I want to commit those things down, and it's so much faster being able to just right-click and commit as opposed to having to print all of that in real time. It's a great, efficient way to be able to share stuff.